Hello, hello, good morning. What's going on, everyone? In the Glass Man here, you're watching the Glass Man's World, and we're about to make some glass. But first, I might actually make something else. I just remembered, it's getting a little trash bag going here. Put that right there. So, I just remembered something, guys. I picked these up the other day. I found these at the craft store the other day. I was thinking, we could do some crafts with the kids and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. These are really nice. Check them out, guys. They're little wood pieces. And I was thinking, okay, well, making wood pieces, it'd be really, really fun to get some glass and to do some actual. Maybe I can use that. All right. So we're gonna try this real quick. Gonna see if this works. Okay, well, my eyesight's a little bit off. All right. Check that out, guys. Little hand carving. That's pretty cool, huh? We probably sell that for a couple bucks. Hey, that ain't too bad, huh? That's pretty cool. Like, I don't know what other detail I could do. I guess I could burn his hat, huh? Like the whole entire hat. Yeah. Check that out. That's cool. All right, guys. So you guys are seeing something completely new. I've never tried this before. It's so cool. I don't know if I can do this on camera for you guys. Oops. I want to go out of the line there. But we'll just burn it down some more and correct that line. That works out good. All right, you guys, I got a new hobby here. Wood burning 101, huh? Glass wood burning. So I've done a little glass wood burning before, but I've never made Christmas ornaments. I don't even know what I should sell these for. They're not taking too long. What do you think? You think I could get $5 on these? I should have got more. Those things are cool. Uh-oh. I put his eyes really close together. Like hooks. We just make the mouth and everything real close. Like, no, that's what I meant to do. Yeah, actually, looks good. This is really cool how I can draw the line like really accurate. And then it's like just using a marker and coloring it in. Like that's what it feels like I'm doing. I'm just markering it. Oh, should I do both sides? I didn't even think about that. Or I can sign them. What do you think? Should I just do one side? Leave the back blank? Kind of like it's a canvas, right? Just one side. I really wish that I could show you guys what I'm doing here. Or maybe if I do it like this. It's like I'm just coloring it in like a marker. And voila! Cool. I got like this mass production pattern going here. This is cool. Glass blowing, glass burning. This is your first right here. Alright, so this guy is not frosty. And the reason why I know he's not frosty is because he has a carrot nose and not a button nose. And that's the difference. It's so cool. Like a marker. Yeah, those really didn't take too long, huh? Alright, I'm gonna save one last one and I'm gonna do a video on this. How to make this really cool thing. So I don't know if you guys know, but these are the craft I said craft store, but this is the dollar store hack. Man, this is cool. Alright, how many did we just get done and how long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dang. Here, let me show you all of them. Like playing cards here. Can I show you all of them? Yeah, check them out. Maybe I should number them. I don't know which one was the first one, second one, third one I made or whatever. The first one was actually this one that was all crooked. I put the eye like way up high. And then I got them right. So probably like that. Should I number them? That might be kind of cool. I could date them. Okay, actually, I'm going to do that. This is the first one I made. His eye was like way crooked up there on the hat. I'm going to date these. We're going to number each one. I'm going to put it right here on the back of his head. That's a 1. I'm going to put 23. This is, make sure it looks like the number 1. That is number 1 right there in the series, guys. Number 2. I'd like to sign my name, but there's no way. Can I? No. I can't sign my name on there. I'm going to try. That's my signature. I tried to sign it. Okay, number 2 was signed. But it's not. All right, here we go. Number 3. The dates are coming out pretty good, though. It is 2023, right? Like, oh no, we're in the future. Number 4. 5. Number 6. Like, you got to move real quick on the first line, and then you slow down and get that burn going. Interesting. Number 6, and last one, number 7, right here, guys. Number 7. What I notice is I'm losing the point. So the lines are getting thicker. All right, there we go. All right, so we got 7 of those guys. So starting from the top all the way through, I guess if someone wants to order one of these, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I'd sell them, I guess, for $5. I don't know. Now that they're numbered and dated, I didn't sign them. But there you go. All the different ones, starting with number 1 on top, all the way to number 7. Those are cool. All right. Let's get on to actually blowing glass now. And that was cool. I'm going to save this little burner here. We're going to heat up the tip. We're going to stretch it back out. That's cool. All right, and then we got ourselves a little burner right there. We'll just set this to the side. We'll keep it here. We know where it's at. All right, you guys, so let's get started on some glass now. The kiln is on. We're up to 675. Trying to get it up to that 900 to 1,000 range. I've got all this glass on the floor here. I'm going to have to, or glass, I mean trash. All this trash on the floor. I'm going to have to clean up. All right. So today, you know what? I'm going to get started on some jellyfish. I don't have any jellyfish, and I really want to make sure that I have a bunch of really, really nice jellies. Ooh, yeah. Look at this. Okay, this one's going to look good. Ooh, and this one with the blue. I like that. All right, we got ourselves some nice jellies right here. And this one ready to go? I think we'll work with these ones instead. Alright, so check out these, guys. These are ribbon canes right here. As you can see, I made these, so I had to, like this blue one right here. I had to basically put some color glass um, on a piece of clear. So let me try to explain it to you how this is done. Oh, I see. I see where those are. Okay. All the jellyfish stuff is in there. So you get a piece of glass, you draw a line on one of these, and then you sandwich it in between another piece of glass, like this. Man, so you got that color in between, and then you flatten them. Flatten these two together, like that, and then that's what gets the color inside there. And before I on this one, there's some glass, some blue glass on the side. So you draw that line, then you draw two little skinny lines on the side of that, as that one is mashed in between there, and then you just make sure you get enough clear glass on the sides, so that it's fully encased inside of there, and you just twist it up. All right, so we're gonna make some jellies here, guys. We got a couple of these ready to go, so we need to get these prepared. We're simply just going to get a punchy here. Now to prepare these, what I have to do is heat these up and stretch them out some. And as I stretch it, I got to keep the twist in there, so I don't stretch out that twist. And this is a really delicate work here, because we're gonna bring this down to, like, I don't know, I'd say about like a 4 millimeter, and then we're gonna bring that down even smaller. And to make a jellyfish, this is a very advanced process here. You have to know how to make a ribbon cane at first. You know, if you can't make a ribbon cane, then you can't really make the tentacles that come off the jellyfish. But if you can make a ribbon cane, you know, even if it's just a real simple cane, you can mimic what a jellyfish looks like. But doing this here, what I'm doing now, where I'm stretching it, keeping it a nice tight spin on the ribbon cane. We're going to pull this down now. So what I'm doing is I'm making the center tentacle for my jellyfish, and then from there I'm going to draw a bunch more tentacles around it and build up a whole lot of tentacles all on themselves, I guess. And then we basically push all that glass into a piece of molten rod, like we do the mushrooms when you stab the colored glass into the clear glass, and you create that mushroom in there. So I'm just going to stretch out this whole entire thing. We're going to get this whole thing all ready and prepared. Might as well. I'm going to bring it all down to about a 4 millimeter. And this is all for just one style, one color jelly. You know, I always change up the colors for each one, so you can have, a choice of blues or reds or more orange. You know, sometimes I use there's a new color that I found. It's like, I don't even know what it's really called, but it's like a moonstone when I work it. And I really love the way that those jellyfish come out with that moonstone color. So we're going to continue stretching this out. You get quite a bit from just that little chunk of a ribbon cane. And that's the one thing, is being able to know how to make a ribbon cane and then being able to pull it in this way here while keeping the twist. Because if you just pull out the glass from itself, it's going to open up that twist and really stretch it out. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep the twist pretty consistent all the way through. I'll show you here in a second. And this isn't really a lesson. I like to, I don't know, I guess I like to just share how I do my work and how I make my glass and things like that. But if you want to learn how to make these, for $300, I can get you on the tour so we can do some private lessons, and I can show you all kinds of different ways on how to make jellyfish. And then as soon as you start making these, then you'll make that money back real quick, and it's worth the investment there. And I charged $300 on it because it's one of those things that it took me like 10 years to perfect all on my own. So it's something that I know I can teach. It's something I've been working on and developing for many, many years, and I can make my jellyfish extremely realistic. And so I'll be teaching you how to do the same. And then, you can sell these anywhere from like $20 to $50 a piece. Like I said, you'll make that $300 back right away. And now that's comparative to my beginner glass blowing lessons. Usually I charge $30 an hour for a crash course on beginner lessons on how to blow glass. Alright, let me see if I can show you that now. So it's all twisted up. And you can see there's it's real thin right here compared to there. And that's okay. I mean, I could go in and I could really, really bring it down. But it's alright. If we just have this tip and we're working the tip right here, that's what we really, really need to focus on. We can keep the rest of it thick, and we can do this a little bit at a time, always. See, and the trick is you need to make this small enough to where you can then build up around it. So we're going to actually stretch this out a little bit more. We're going to bring it down really, really true to closer to like a 3 or 4 millimeter here. And the reason why I'm making this so small is because we're gonna make this into like a 1-inch pendant. I can make jellyfish a lot bigger, but I'm known for a very small, tiny, detailed work and doing things like the jellyfish and replicating hot air balloons and things like that. Stretching out glass like this, I've been known for making body jewelry, glass gauges for your ears or body adornment, all your different piercings. And when you're learning how to stretch out glass to a specific measurement, it becomes precision glass at that point. All right, that's now really, really thin. That's nice. I like that thickness right there. Okay, so now, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have pulled that. So now we got our 4 millimeter right there. So now I'm gonna get some of the tip right here, and we're gonna stretch that out. And that's why I was saying I probably shouldn't have pulled that. So using that one and this one. So now I'm gonna pull it to like a 1 millimeter thickness. Like I said, this is very advanced precision glass right here. This is, it takes a lot of work to do this here. So now we're going over that 4 millimeter. We're going to stretch this all down a lot thinner. All right. So now you can see all the different sizes there. And I could have probably pulled that a little bit thinner, but that'll work. Okay, so now we go right into it. Where we use the same piece here, we're going to draw the little tiny pieces onto this piece. So this is very, very detailed work. We're going to use a smaller flame here. So this will be the center tentacle, and then I'll have these coming off of it, and these will be the extra tentacles coming off of it here. I'll probably, you know, put about 5 of these around here, 5 or 6, depending on how many we can wrap around. And also, I'm as I'm drawing this on here, I'm allowing the twist in there to get stretched and open up. So then you're going to see a defined difference of the center tentacle going around and really twist it, and then the other ones on the outside just kind of getting pulled around. So now we got all that drawn around there. That's, we're talking 6 millimeter, 5 millimeter right there on the tip. So we're going to melt this all down now. And then I have to choose which color I'll be using for the top, and I'm going to go with this dark multi right here. And hopefully this is a good color combination with that blue. And I won't know until the end of after the kiln cycle. I'll have to throw these in the kiln and put them in there for a few hours, get them out, and then we'll see what colors they look like. Alright, so now those are all melted together. I'm going to stretch it out some. I'm going to use the color because that color piece is basically just going to get melted right onto the tip. So if there's any piece left on there, it's not going to do anything. Alright, now we're going to add the color here. Just add a little dot right on the tip. And so now this colored dot on the tip here is going to be the head or the bell of the jellyfish. So that's how much work is involved in building up the whole entire jellyfish now. It took a lot of time to get all the glass prepared with the stretching and twisting it and getting it prepared, but now I've got a lot of little tiny chunks. It only takes like half an inch. Alright, so now we got that colored tip right on there. Oh, this phone is actually in the way and I'm not even using it. Sorry guys. Just letting it charge. So we got this right here, right? And I don't know if you can see that on the tip right there. There's a little dot of color. And then you can see it's a little bit thicker right here. And there's all those lines around it. I don't think you can see those lines because it's so detailed. But when I stab it in the glass and everything, at this point we're going to then get the clear glass ready, get our Norwex. Always make sure that this is all nice and cleaned off and clear. The Norwex OptiCloth, I highly recommend it. We're going to stab this in now, and it's going to form into a jellyfish. So it's basically the same thing as stabbing the mushrooms in. So here's some of the mushrooms that I made the other day. That's one of the yellow with the red mix. And so we're basically just going to do that. We're going to make a mushroom, but now that it's built up with all those colors in there, it's going to form a jellyfish. So good morning. I see someone's here watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just working on some inventory for today's market. We're going to be over at the Harvard Street, the Harvard Holiday Hangout is what they're calling it. That's over on Harvard Street, just south of Route 66, Central Boulevard, right there by UNM. If you don't know the area, the University of New Mexico is right off the Central and University Boulevard. And if you just go east, right there past the light, the next light is Yale. You go one block over and that's Harvard. Harvard Street right there. Between Yale and what, Cornell? Okay, so now we're getting this rod all molten. You can see that section right there. That's where we're going to be able to stab this into. So it's the same thing as making a mushroom now. It's just taking all that time to do all that little fine detail. And then it's back to the same step. The very first thing I ever was taught how to make was pushing the mushroom. I guess I should use the term pushing instead of stabbing, because of the whole YouTube algorithms and thing is a weird thing. So we'll just call it pushing it in. We're going to push this right inside. That sounds a little bit worse, huh? Push it right inside, get it all nice and warm, get it all liquidy, get that glass all wet, hot, before we push this mushroom in. It's like, I don't know if that's even better now. This whole censorship is weird. Alright, here we go. Just stab this in, and we gotta make sure that those tentacles get pushed in, but they don't get pushed all the way underneath the cap. So we make sure they get pushed in just a little bit further than the center one. We have that center one hanging out some. I don't think you can see that, but it's in there. There's a big old air pocket now in there. So we have to get that air pocket out. This is now ready for the next push. Add a little dot of, well, we got to build it up and then add that dot of color. Alright, and then I just heat it up, and this is when it takes forever. The whole melting process. Melting and twisting, spinning the glass. The trick is keeping that torch directly above the mushroom cap, or what this is the jellyfish head or bell. And just let all that glass below it fall down and start squeezing onto the tentacles, or if it's a mushroom, onto that the stem, the color there, the color rod. So basically, you push that color rod in, the color rod explodes in the front, and just like boom, blooms out into this mushroom cap. And then you just melt down all the glass, and it should just like squeeze out the air slowly, 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 till it's gone. And if you work it slow enough, you'll be able to see with these didymium glasses. You'll be able to see through the flame, and you'll be able to see how, like I can see right now that the glass, the clear glass that's attached to that stem in the center with all the tentacles, and I can see the difference. There's no air pocket there, and I can see it slowly stretching out, or slowly attaching itself, moving its way down. And eventually I can then put the flame right on the bottom, and that'll attach all of it. And now we got ourselves a jellyfish inside of there with all those little tentacles wrapped around that center tentacle there. Just like that, guys. So now you know my trick. That's a $300 lesson right there. But to actually do it, like you need it hands-on. You need to actually have someone to show you how it's done. Alright, now we got to do the finishing touches here. Make sure that our path is all clean and dust free here. as I'm melting it, getting it all molten, we're going to figure out which side's going to be the back, which side's going to be the front. And this one, it looks good always. We're just going to smash it like that. Let it fall. Smash. Let it fall a little bit more. Smash. And that's called a flat back. You flatten the back side of it. So one side's flat, the rest of it's still all nice and round. I'm going to add some cobalt. At this point, just make sure it's all clean. So this is the big stick of cobalt that I get, the large 4-foot rod. I'm going to soften the flame some. We're going to lessen the oxygen, have more propane mixed to it. That way we don't burn out any of the cobalt and fester it or anything. Sometimes if you add too much oxygen, the blue will start to there'll be like some whites, like the silvering or whatever. The metals will come out of the glass, and then that doesn't look proper. So you want to make sure you always are using the right heat, the right oxygen to propane ratio. That's why you really need a teacher or some sort of a glass instructor to show you exactly how to work the torch, when it's too hot, when it's too soft, not hot enough. Like right now, I'm thinking I need to bring up the whole thing something like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is pretty much cooled down. You don't see it glowing at all. You can see the jellyfish in there. See the tentacles all wrapped around it. Then we're going to put this blue background on there, and it's going to look like it's floating in the ocean. So that's my trick, is just adding a little cobalt blue on the back of this whole piece of clear glass, and then it just looks like the whole thing becomes cobalt. And you only need a little bit to mash onto the back. We just get this super molten and then just smash it on. And there's from flattening it on the paddle, or the pad here on the table, you get these little heat waves that will, they show themselves. You'll see these heat rings on the surface of the glass from the air trying to escape out or whatever. So I polished that up so there's no more of those. And now it's time to get this on here. Get this nice and molten and big enough so where we're going to have enough to mash it down. Direct center, smash it down, and then pull it upward. Well, I guess I'm saying upward towards the loop, but I guess for you that's downward. And so then you got that color on the back side, pulling that chunk right there this way. So I'm saying pulling it up, but really when I was pulling it down. And then you just melt it all down. Make sure it's all molten. So the jellyfish, they just take time to get it all melted down and getting it colored properly, and getting all the details to make it a jellyfish. Without all these details, it wouldn't be a jellyfish. It would just be a mushroom. You can put a mushroom floating in water. Put a blue background on a mushroom. You can definitely do that. That's the cool thing about glass, is you can do any kind of thing with it. You can manipulate it and make all kinds of stuff. See things in your dreams and then create them. Draw it on paper and then create it. So cool. I love glass. I'm so grateful that my friend Brian Bentley was able to get me into it. You know, he was just a beginner at the time when he started, 6-month apprenticeship. But he told me that if I were able to invest in the equipment so we could both work on it, that he would teach me everything that he knew. And yeah, like I said, he was just a beginner knowledge, but he had 6 months knowledge that I didn't have. And that's all it took for me to get started. And then from there, you know, he continued to learn more. I continued to learn more. We studied videos. We read books. But a lot of videos, watching other glass blowers, is really what showed me how to do a lot of different techniques that, you know, if you were on a video as a glass blower, at that point you were pretty much considered like a master or someone that was higher up in the ranks than just a newbie, you know. So just watching anyone who had more knowledge than me was really awesome. All right, I'm going to flatten this now. I'm going to make sure it's perfectly flat. Holding it up to eye level like that with me there. You can see it's leaning a little bit on one side, so I'm going to melt it and then try to just bring it over. There we go. Always want to keep it on axis, keep it straight. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some of that moon color glass, that moonstone glass. I forget what it's called. It looks white. I don't know what it's called, but I call it moonstone. Just making sure it's all nice and melt it down. I'm going to make sure that's flat. I'm going to go over the top and make sure it's all flat down. If you don't want to flatten the top, you want to keep that nice and curved so all the heat's been going to the back. So there you go. So now you can see it's got that flat back. And you can see through that cobalt in the front right there. Oh, I guess you can see through it because it's glowing. That's all. So there you go. Nice. So that's how you do a jellyfish, guys. Just like that. Alright, that's the first jellyfish in a long time. It's been several months. So now, we're going to make sure that our punchy is nice and clean because we don't want any marks on these. And these ones I sell for $30 online, and you can get them in person from me usually for $20. That way I'm not having to worry about any change or whatever. Just Most people carry a 20 with them, and that's easier than a 20 and a 10. So yeah, if you ever find me when I'm vending, come hit me up for a $20 jellyfish. These ones used to be sold in the Albuquerque Aquarium in the gift shop there for I believe they were either $39.99 or $49.99. So they were either 40 or 50 bucks retail. So at my $30 price, I'm still a lot cheaper than they have them. And they sold out all the time. The only reason why I don't sell to Albuquerque Aquarium gift shop anymore is because I got involved in the electronic cigarettes industry, and being the creator of the world's first glass drip tips, and making those back in 2010 and getting them out to the market, in the world's market first, before all other glass artists or anyone else who was making any sort of glass tips at that time. So we were the creator of the world's first glass strip tips. And eventually then we started making tanks and all kinds of stuff with cosmic glass with a K. Alright, now the trick is stretching that cobalt, that loop, and making sure that the cobalt stays on one side, because you can easily pull it and accidentally twist. You don't want to twist it. And now we got a little chunk on there that I got to take off. There's all this extra work when you're making these, but completely worth it. Alright, where's my tool? There it is. We need the reamer. Alright, and that's how long it takes me to make these with the talking and the instruction and everything, and showing it, so it's allowing it to cool down and having it heat it back up. But I wanted to share with you. Now I'm going to just crank out a few of these right now and make sure we have some jellyfish for the day, because these usually sell. If I can make 5 of these, that's a potential for $100 today in my pocket, which we can then use for our Christmas and making sure our kids get a really good Christmas this year. So, I appreciate all your guys' love and support. All of us local artists and craftsmen and individuals who bend, and we do all these things. This is either our main livelihood, our main source of income, or it's what we do on the side in order to to gather any other income on the side to help out. So I'm sure you guys have a lot of friends, a lot of individuals who are just like me, who are artists. And I won't say I'm a starving artist, because I always have more than enough food. And I can even share food. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm a blessed artist, if anything. Alright, there you go, guys. Check that out. Look at those tentacles in there. See that? You can see all the way up into the underneath side of the jelly there. I don't know if that would be called looking up the skirt. When we're looking up a balloon, I'm always into the balloons, right? When you're looking up right there, that's known as looking up the skirt of the balloon, looking up into the mouthpiece of the balloon. And it's either called a skirt or a scoop. Like the fabric right there at the bottom is a very fire, non-flammable, fire retardant fabric. That's where the burner is. Alright, and then I just melt that down just like that. Make sure it's all nice and smooth all the way around the whole entire thing. And man, we call that a day right there. That's a beautiful pendant, you guys. And that's beautiful how it glows. And then there it goes, coming in, coming in. So it looks like a mushroom, but it's just made with tentacles and has the spirals and everything. All right, and then we're going to drop this in the kiln. These ones I always kiln. I have to make sure with all that extra building up in the layers, you definitely need to make sure that you kiln these. Compared to the mushrooms that I just leave on the table right here, those ones are fine. This thing is alright, that's good. Green slider work? No. Alright. Let's make another. Bring the flame back down. We're going to do some more detail work again. We got a little bit more of this little skinny tiny one here. Which we might actually be able to get two out of here still. But that little tiny is like a 1 inch, 1.5, 1.25 inch. We'll get this warmed up. We'll probably only get one out of all this. All right. So then we got that built up. Get our color here. Where we put it. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, I said I was going to do that moonstone color, right? Which I believe is this one. So it's a white, but then it goes clear on the end. And hopefully it's going to be moonstone and not clear. And then this will just be a wasted jellyfish right here. And now we can see just how long these actually take, starting from the prep work without having to do all that prep work. Now we're just building it up. You can see how long it takes. Yeah, so I get all that all melted. Give it a stretch. That way you have plenty of room to push the tentacles in to that molten glass. You got to put just enough of a dot. If you put too much, you're going to have to stab it a lot or push it in a lot. Dang, I'm so used to using that terminology. You have to push it in a lot in order to get that mushroom cap to really grow bigger inside the hot molten glass. And if it's too big, you're going to have to push it in a lot more, which then you'll lose your tentacles because you'll stab them, push them in underneath the bell of the jellyfish. Wow. All this censorship, stupid. Just because that term is said doesn't mean it's actually in violence. It's in creation as well. So sad I can't even use that word. If I was monetized, I'd be getting demonetized. Good thing I'm not monetized, huh? You guys know that I'm not even monetized. I do all this just for fun. And I think if I'm not monetized, then I get away with saying a lot more. But then I'm not being seen by anyone. So I don't know if that helps much or hurts. Alright, that one I thought it was a little bit big, so I'm trying to just get it flattened down or, just bringing it down to that same size there. Now we got that colored glass on there. We're going to do the same thing, guys. Just get our clear glass here so we can push the tentacles into this molten glass here. We just crank this up, get the oxygen and propane up. Also got to remember there's a chunk of colored glass on here, so we're going to pull that off right now. Just getting it molten to the point where I can then grab it like that, pull it off, discard it like that, and we've got a clean slate now. Alright, so I think we're like 5 minutes in or something, I don't know. Maybe a little bit longer. I think when I looked over when we were just getting started, it was like an hour and 9 minutes into this video here. And now we're an hour and 14 minutes. So I'm just guessing. It's been about 5 minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. Building up all the tentacles and then adding the color. Now we've got this prepared here within less than a minute, ready to go. So once you figure out how to build these up, then you can do these quick. And it's hard, it takes a lot of precision. But once you can figure these out, you can get these done pretty quick. Like I said, you can make up that $300 real quick. And that's in comparison to, like doing 10 hours with me and learning like all the beginner's lessons and everything. Using that color, I can't really see where where that mushroom cap is for the jellyfish. I hope it's in there. Hopefully I didn't just push like, I know it's not clear glass. That's got to be the moonstone glass that I like. And that should give it a really nice head or a bell on top of that jellyfish there. I think it's known as the bell. I don't think they have a head, but I think that's actually like the body of it. Very alien. You know, jellyfish are like the aliens of the earth. Those and octopus and squid. Those are definitely like the aliens of the earth here. Okay, hopefully I didn't push this in too much. I can see them tentacles got smashed up on the top, and I really hope that doesn't mess with the actual the look and the color and everything. Maybe what we need to do is get the moonstone tentacles all mixed up, make a ribbon cane with it. Or maybe I'll make a ribbon cane and show you guys how that's done. What's cool is like you never know what you're gonna learn watching me blow glass, and I will just share some techniques and stuff. You know, I don't mind. Better that I'm sitting here talking about what I'm doing and giving you guys a little bit of description on what's going on, because you can't see what's happening through that flame, you know. But being able to let you know, melting down that glass, we're getting it around all the tentacles, getting that air bubble out again, slowly moving it down almost to the bottom here. This is going to look pretty good. I can see the tentacles are, I pushed them in maybe a little further on top than I wanted to. Maybe. I can also see a few little air bubbles up in there, which I don't know how those got in there or how they got trapped. There's no way of getting them out. Hopefully, they'll just be covered by the color of the jellyfish, and also they'll be kilned so the air bubble won't, it's not going to harm the glass in any way. We put air bubbles in glass on purpose all the time. You just got to make sure you get it molten enough so it becomes super round. You want it to become a round form in there. You don't want to have an air bubble that's got any jagged points or anything like that. And I don't know if you can imagine that. An air, a bubble with jagged points. Because when it's formed in here, it's getting matched in with all this molten glass and stuff. And, things don't move around inside there the way it does like within this atmosphere, within the air, within water. Bubbles move very different in liquid glass and molten glass than anything else. And yeah, I think actually that the jellyfish bell is going to cover it up because it's underneath us, which is also fine too, because some jellyfish, they do collect air bubbles underneath them. Especially in home aquariums. Where they're just floating around those air stones. Alright, now we just got to figure out where we're going to put this and hide that air bubble all the way in the back. There we go. just going to mash this down. And then the cobalt blue. Get rid of the heat rings that are formed under here. So we do this all kind of like at the same time. We get the cobalt blue ready while we're just letting that flame heat that. Go. And then we'll let this solidify. So that way when we push this on here, it's got a nice solid wall to adhere to, and it'll get pushed onto, and it doesn't get sunk into. You don't want this molten, or else this will get pushed into it. We just want it pushed onto it. Alright, so we go big there, and then pull up like that. Then we just melt down that cobalt so we can adhere to all the photographs. So I got to just heat up the whole thing all the way around it from top to bottom. And I don't want to get the front of the pendant molten, so I'm trying to keep the flame away from the front of it and just have it on the back side only. And you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just using the edge of the flame to heat up the edge of the glass. Floating it on the top, floating it on the bottom, and not putting the front of the pendant ever in the flame so it never gets molten again. Only the back side of the pendant where the cobalt is. That's where it's getting molten right now. Almost to the point where we can then go back in and smash it. I'll put our paddle on top of the front, being careful not to smash it or flatten that front side. And then the trick is really trying your best to flatten it as best as you can. Sometimes you might push it on one side or the other, which on this side I did on this one, so I'm going to just get it all molten again. We're going to try to even it out. Just like that. Just going in and flattening it there. That's going to then give us that true line. It can go on top of this, make sure the whole thing is flattened now. Beautiful. Alright, there's another one, guys. Get this one in the kiln. Then we just pull the loop and put it in the kiln. Oh, cool. There's no color left on that, so I don't have to do any cleanup now. I was able to pull it all the way around. Sometimes there's a little extra, sometimes there's not. So just get this loop all melted down into the shaping of the rest of it so it all flows. You gotta always clean up that punchy mark too. Gotta always remember that. And then the back side where you flatten it might have some of those heat rings as well. So you always want to flame polish the back to make sure it's nice and smooth. And done. And if you drop that one in the kiln. Ooh, it's getting hot in there. Alright. Make some more. So we simply just go back to pulling these. Let's see if I can make at least 5. We'll do 3 more. Okay, so it looks like we're going to need to pull out some more of this thicker part, the like 6 mil into the 4 mil, 3 mil. We can prepare this for the center tentacle. Being that it's so skinny, it takes the heat real quick to melt it to that point, so it doesn't take too long for this kind of prep work now that we've done the bigger stuff. There we go. We just do a little bit at a time because you don't want to have this real skinny thing sticking off there and then, you actually stab yourself and breaking it, making it too skinny. Alright, that's probably good. We'll go right into drawing it. When you draw these on, they can all be like different lengths, Tentacles to jellyfish, some are shorter, some are longer. Every jellyfish is unique. Do another one with that same color. We'll do 2 more with that same color, and then we'll do 1 more with the that original first dark multicolor. Melt it down, stretch it out some. the color. See, the sun's finally rising and coming up, or it's been up for a minute. What time is it? 7 o'clock. All right. Usually during the weekday, this will be when my daughter and I are headed out on the way to school. Usually got to catch a bus to get there, city bus. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks good. Right. Melt it down to some, but that looks really good. Yeah, and I don't know how many more I could actually make with this rod. I'll probably have to pull out another one here in a sec. And if it's 7 o'clock, I guess I only have one more hour, guys, so we'll go for 2.5 hours on this video today. So we'll be set up on Harvard Street from 11 to 4 o'clock. I might stay around a little bit longer if the crowd is out there and people are shopping. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to push this in. I said push. All right, let's try not to get any air bubble in this one here. I'm not sure what happened on the last one or why that happened. Maybe the air bubble was actually from drawing the tentacles on and it was already trapped in there. Oh man, these early morning sessions, I've been waking up, I don't know, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for some reason these days and can't go back to sleep. So I was like, well, I might as well get on the torch. Had a little quick 420 session, wake and bake, and then jumped on the torch right away, which I guess would have been about, what, 5:30? If it's already 7 now, we're on for an hour and a half. All right, I don't see any air bubbles in this one. I think I got it good on this one. And then that moonstone, it goes completely clear when it's all fully under heat like that. So it's interesting to see how it's like, oh, there's no cap in there right now. But there is. And we figure out what side is it going to be. I might have made those tentacles a little bit too long. See, that's the thing, is just barely a couple millimeters off and just get off a little bit. All right, time for the backing of the cobalt blue on the back here. They're all one of a kind. They all come out a little bit differently than each other. So good luck trying to collect them all. So what's today? Today is what? Oh my gosh, is it the 12th? No, it's the 9th. All right. 3 more days. 3 more days until my mom's birthday. 3 more days until my firstborn child's birthday. 3 more days, guys. Also, 3 more days for the day of the ladies de Guadalupe. That one came out pretty good. And I love when I flatten them and they like widen out. They get so much bigger compared to what you're thinking they're going to be. And then adding that little bit of cobalt on the back also helps to add a little bit more surface area to help spread that whole area out. These pendants, they're a real nice piece. A good centerpiece to be worn right on your chest. Hang it up in your windows, have it as a sun catcher, things like that. Christmas ornament, this will work as a Christmas ornament. All right, here's number 3. Let's see if we can make 2 more. Just going to clean this up real quick right now since it's molten. Be quicker. And waiting. Alright, I was just thickening up this loop a little bit. It seemed like I had pulled it up too much, and I didn't like that, so I was just kind of shortening it, making it a little bit more stubbier, having the loop a little bit closer to the body. Now we ended up with this here. Nice strong loop. Beautiful. Beautiful jellyfish. See that? And then the count, number 3. Alright, 2 more to go. Alright, sorry I went quiet on you guys. Always when I'm doing this detail work, seems like I go quiet. Alright, and then we're gonna add the little color on top here. We'll do one more of this moonstone color, which is really nice. You know, I wish I could do just 5 of these, 5 of the other, but we got to make some other things, I believe. I don't know. Well, maybe all the jellyfish will sell today. Maybe I should just work on nothing but jellies. I don't know. You never know, right? Sometimes people are just looking for simple $5 items all day. Sometimes people just want a specific thing. Sometimes people are just impulse shopping, like, oh, I love that. You know? I don't know if I'm taking this out today. I don't know if I'm going to ask $50 on this or what. It's the only one that I've made this year, a Christmas ornament, and it's a hot air balloon. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. I don't know if that if I should auction it off. I did tell people who were interested that it'll go to the highest bidder, the high, like the best offer. Whoever wants to make me an offer on it, it's yours. But I'll make more. I'll try to replicate them, and that's what I was hoping to do today. Is try to make some, possibly, but make them smaller. That's all. Just make them a little bit smaller, so they're a little bit quicker, and probably not balloons. Maybe I'll make a hot air balloon, but probably just do some real quick round ones. Alright, I'm going to do a quick little smoke break here. But you won't know. You will not know. That's my little trick. Alright, we got that one ready? Oh yeah, that's ready to go. Let's push it in. This might be the last one on here. Maybe I can get another one off. But this is getting really, really short. Maybe I could get one more. Dang, that tastes good. Radiant heat. I didn't touch it to anything. I just hovered it right over it. Radiant heat. One of the cleanest ways on smoking. Okay, now we're going to just push this in. Push the jellyfish directly inside the center there. Make sure you push it in just enough to get the bell or the cap in there. And just enough to get those tentacles pushed into the bottom. So you have just enough of that center one sticking out. You want to cut off the center one, not cut off any of those tentacles. You want the tentacles to get pushed in to where they're floating in there somewhat. And have that center one a little bit longer. I'm working on a Glass Jellyfish Necklaces right now, guys. Really tiny, tiny, detailed necklaces. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm just working on some inventory for today. I'm going to a market here in Albuquerque on Harvard Street, the Harvard Holiday Hangout. Brought to you by Birdland Hippie Store, the all-new Birdland, the hippie store. So they got all your tie-dyes, all your black light posters, all of your glass, all your smoking accessories, everything you need there. So many things. Incense, you like your Nag Champa? They got it there. They got all kinds of stuff. They even have Christmas costumes. So if you want to dress up as Santa, they got Santa and Mrs. Claus outfits there, you guys. I don't know if they're for rent or for sale. I think they're for sale. But yeah, check it out. I see someone's here. What's going on, Barb? Good morning. just signed in to watch for a bit. Today is the quadruple jingle bell non-balloon rally non-balloon rally at Balloon Fiesta Park. So what does that mean? You're having a jingle bell balloon rally, non-balloon rally. So does it mean no balloons are going to be standing or anything, or what's going on? You going to have hot cocoa? I want some hot cocoa. I actually had 2 cups of hot cocoa last night. One wasn't enough. It was so cold yesterday. I was like, man, hot cocoa sounds like the perfect, like, as soon as I got home, not ending of the day, but just the perfect, like, addition to the day, because it was so cold yesterday. I was getting my daughter home from school, which, we have to take the city bus, and it's freezing out there these days. I don't know what it's going to be like today. It looks like beautiful sunny skies. I don't see the tree moving around, so no winds. Hopefully all those winds and everything moved through last night, and we got a beautiful day for some holiday shopping, Christmas shopping, Hanukkah shopping. I don't know, do people buy gifts for Hanukkah? Or is it just dreidels and candelabras, those sort of things? I don't really know too much. There's also there's other, what's the, is it Africa? They celebrate some days around this time as well. I don't remember. I don't know. All I know is I was brought up knowing about Christmas and learning about Jesus and the Christianity way of celebrating, and baby Jesus and the manger and the North Pole. And then later coming to find out that if you really, really understood the lineup of everything, I guess. Oh, we're not doing that yet. Where the stars were and the constellations, and the timing of when they were out herding sheep compared to not in the wintertime when it was freezing, and learning how the dates got switched from the time that Jesus was born, maybe more closer to spring or summertime than on the day of the Saturnalia that was the pagan holiday that then got converted to Christmas and got converted into the day for celebrating Christ and his birth. So it's quite interesting, the things that I've learned about it. And now, as a father, we just make sure that we do Christmas for the kids. We have a Christmas tree up and have gifts and presents. And we teach them the different meanings and ways of Christmas and all the story of the nativity story. We go to Citizen Church and for their Christmas Eve show and sermon. I really like Pastor Dustin there. Oh yeah, and what did you say? Happens every year. I won't be attending though. Too early for me. I'm still waiting for my husband to deliver my first cup of fresh coffee. Nice. So I'm not a coffee drinker myself. I'm a water drinker. Water is life. Every drop counts. Always all about the water. And I'm realizing, you guys, that you're seeing my setup in a way that I think this is spelled backwards, right? The water is life. I'm going to have to figure out the camera and do the mirror image when we go live here. I just realized that for the first time. I see it as a mirror. So to me, it looks, it looks fine. When I was growing up, we were taught to create Christmas gifts, not buy them. Lots of creativity in our family. That's another thing too. Oh, since you're here, let me show you my creativity this year. At the very beginning of this video, go back and watch it. You'll be able to see me do my very first live hot glass wood burning. That's number one. I just did 7 of these. We got these cute little snowman Christmas ornaments that I just hand burned. They're all numbered on the back. I have one more, a blank, that I'm going to do on a video live, maybe after this or tomorrow or something, just to show a cool little trick. But I made those this morning, first time ever. I found them at the dollar store, and I was like, huh. Like, I was going to get them for the kids, and I was like, wait a minute, let me try something. Because I got that creativity blood in me too, you know, so. And we love to make things. You know, my wife is actually hand making all the cards this year. She makes some beautiful handmade cards. I don't know if you've seen them. She even makes balloon cards, which we should probably get her balloon cards promoted out there too. And she does all kinds of beautiful jewelry, working with like the polymer clays, the Fimo and the Sculpey clays. And then she uses stones, like natural stones, like she'll put amethyst or amber or something, like embed it within the clay. Really nice. You know, she hasn't made any balloons, any female balloons yet. I forget. Before I was a glass blower, I was actually a female artist. Fimo and Sculpey clay. Got way into that stuff long time ago. I used to do hemp macrame necklaces. So my first business was hemp glass and clay. Well, it was hemp and clay, and then it became hemp glass and clay. Oh, thank you. The text in the background is coming up correctly, so that means it's already mirrored. It looks. I mean, it's already reversed. It looks mirrored to me. So this should say water. Water is life. Got a weird fold to it. I need to actually. We have to spray it down. It's hanging over the kiln. So we'll have to spray it down and allow the heat to steam it. And it'll flatten itself out. Won't have all the wrinkles. So yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. And then our children, you know, we have a 4-year-old and then my daughter's 11. And she's always been creative. She's going to love how I did those snowmen. Which maybe that'll be the trick to get her on the torch. I can be like, look, all you gotta do is hold this, put the little tip in the flame like that, and then write with it. Maybe that'll be the trick to get her on the torch, because she's afraid of the flame and the fire. And I'm like, come on, I need a successor. I would love to have my children carry on the Gardenia glass legacy, and hopefully it just doesn't stop with me. You know, I even tried to get my brother on the torch. You know, he's a Gardenia. And no, it's okay. Like, man, if I had someone to help me on the team, we'd get so much more done. We'd be so much more productive. The sales, the promotion, the marketing. But I'm a one-man band over here. Like over here with the gymboree. I got my kick drum, my snare, my hi-hat, all with ropes and everything. All like a crazy marionette puppet. You've handcrafted your cards since childhood too. Christmas is far too commercialized. You know, that's the one thing that I try to teach my 11-year-old right now, is how pretty much every holiday has become a Hallmark holiday. You know, with the whole Hallmark cards and their little gift shop, which, you know, everyone has little Hallmark ornaments and Hallmark this and Hallmark that. And a lot of people don't realize, the beauty that goes, the love, the time, the energy, the creativity, the thought, just the thought alone, making someone a personalized card, that's very special. Nowadays, you go get a, a 12 pack or a 24 pack of like the same card that's been, just printed, and you pay anywhere from like, go to the dollar store for 99 cents or, well, what is it, $1.25 now? Or, like up to like $3, $5 for some cards, right? And then you just send them all out, and you're done. You just paper stamps and you're done. But when you actually hand make things, like cooking cookies and then giving those out as gifts, or it's just, that's some really, those are the thoughtful gifts. And I really do love making gifts for people. But there's also something like, because of what I do, I don't know, like sometimes I just feel like that's just what people like. Sometimes I like to give something else besides just my glass. It's like, that's all I give every year, just glass. But then again, people love the glass, right? And people, like, everyone's gonna want a new hot air balloon, or everyone's gonna want a new necklace, or some sort of a new Christmas ornament, or a new jellyfish. I don't know if you got to see the jellyfish that I just made. I'm making right now. We got one more to go, actually. After this one, then we'll have one more, and that'll be 5 for the day. So I'll make one more jellyfish if you got time. I'm almost finishing this one up. We're just melting all the cobalt blue on the background, and getting it ready. There's a jellyfish in there. I don't know if you can see the tentacles. It's got like a ribbon cane. It looks like this here, the ribbon cane I made, and I just stretched all that out. So you got that in the center, and then also pulled out thin for the tentacles on the side of it. And then a little bit of blue on the background makes the whole thing look like cobalt from the front. Beautiful. Fell in love with hand modeling clay. My first piece was a Siamese cat at age 13. I actually am getting commissioned right now to make very special pieces. I do memorial glass as well. I put cremains into glass. It's something that's very special. Not many people do it. They look like this here, actually. So it's a round, about 1 inch, 1¼ inch disc shape. It's flat back and it's rounded on the front. And I have the dichroic glass, which is that sparkle glass in there. Which dichroic glass looks like this before it goes into the glass. So it's got this like different colors, shines, and shimmers in it. And then we put it in there, and it gets all this like cool sparkles in there. And so it looks like, I don't know, like glitter or something. And then I twist up the cremains with it and spiral them out into the universe is what that represents. They're getting spiraled back out into the universe. And so I make those all the time. Why was I even bringing that up? What were we talking about? Oh, the Siamese cat. So I'm getting asked and possibly commissioned to make several cats, like artistic sculptures, which basically they're going to be like wrapped, like sleeping, all curled up in themselves, and have like their heads sticking out. Like the individual showed me what they had found online and what they were looking for, and for me to try to replicate or make something similar to. And it looks nice. Like, it just looks like they took the rod of glass and wrapped it around itself. Well, yeah, because they were showing me glass too. So they took like that rod and wrapped it around itself and then pulled it to make that, like the tail come off the end and wrap around the front part. No paws or anything, but then they pulled up little points on the top and pulled the nose out to make the cat face and the ears. No whiskers, nothing like that. No eyes, nothing. Just a simple shaping of what a cat would look like. And so I'm going to be commissioned to make some of those soon, but as a memorial glass. It's going to be really cool. And I do play guitar. Yeah, so I'm basically a Renaissance man. I'm multi-talented in many facets. Yeah, I'm like that crazy gemstone. You just keep on turning and turning, and you keep finding more facets and more facets. You're like, what am I looking at here? Yeah, so that's why this is the Glassman's world. I have so many things going on that I just invite you to come in and enjoy my world with me for a little while. So right now, this is my glass blowing world. This is my work, my career. This is my play also. You know, like when I work, I play. I get to play with fire. I get to be a pyro. But very respectable. I respect the flame highly, immensely. I've been burned too many times to not have learned to respect this flame. So yeah, there's so many things that are going on in my life, and so welcome to the Glassman's world. I'll be sharing so many things here. I share cooking. I learned how to cook Ayurvedic meals. I'm a devotee of Krishna, so I share knowledge that comes long before the Bible, and speaking on how individuals actually were able to honor and worship God before the Savior Lord Jesus Christ was born 2,000 years ago. There was always a way to God. And so, yeah, I share all kinds of different things. It's fun here. You know, I talk about things like what's going on in Maui, Lahaina, Maui right now, and how maybe there was some other things happening and it wasn't a natural fire. And so I talk about all kinds of stuff here. So welcome to my world. But yes, you know me as Dan the Glassman, the glass balloon guy, glass balloons. And I am going to be really heavily focused this year now that I've won the Best of Show right there. There's my ribbon to prove it. Even though now that I've won Best of Show, that's my ticket to continuously push my glass balloons, even though I've been doing them since '99, even though I am the only glass artist, I believe, in the world who replicates balloons as small as I do. And you know what? I just saw, what's his name? Haggerty. Dang, I can't believe it. Derek. Man, his glass work is beautiful. It's phenomenal. And I saw his earrings, and apparently he actually is another glass artist who replicates balloons as small as I do, because he has earrings that were the American red, white, and blue. I don't know if it was Old Glory or which one it was. If it was one of the global balloons from World Balloons or Global Balloons or whatever company that is. But I can no longer claim now that I am the only artist in the world that replicates balloons, because he apparently does too. Now, I don't know if he takes custom orders like I do, but I finally have competition, and that's awesome. And I love friendly competition. And we were speaking for a while, and talking about actually teaming up and working together. So why not? It's like, hey, why not McDonald's and KFC come together and you get chicken and burgers all in the same place, right? Then you get your waffles, chicken and waffles. Well, you get your mixed pancakes with your chicken. Have you heard about the Cosmix? It's going to be the new McDonald's coming out soon called COS, and then MC, like Mick, Cosmix, apostrophe S. If you want to invest in stock, that'll probably be a good money maker. I don't eat McDonald's, but I like to make money, and I'm learning about investing in different things. I don't have any stocks yet, but that would be one I'd get into. I have seen cookies and candy as hand-blown glass art. I actually make little glass candies, which I was thinking about making this year for Christmas. I don't know how much time you have. I'm going to make one more jellyfish here real quick. Real quick. It's funny. Real quick. 20 minutes later. But I don't know how much time you have. I might be able to make, because I do want to make some Christmas items too. And I was thinking about making some candy canes. And I also make those little flat, like peppermint candies that have the wrapper. And I just use like a little bit of clear glass on the end to mimic the wrapper. I just got to pull out a little bit here. Probably enough. All right, so this little tiny thing is about 3, maybe 4 millimeters thick. This one here is about 1 millimeter thin. Very, very tiny, very intricate. I can actually use 1 millimeter glass like this and write names, write dates, anniversaries, things like that. I'm one of the few that I know that can write as small as I do, and then I know a trick on doing condensing marbles and being able to bring a name from like that big and shrinking it down to where it's like little tiny thing. And you've seen cookies, glass cookies. I've actually made miniature cookies, and I made a miniature little plate set for my daughter, so we could have little mini Santa cookies and cocoa. I made her a miniature glass mug, cocoa mug set. They have little miniature candy canes in them. That's the other thing about glass that I love, is I can just make those kind of things anytime, not even just through Christmas, but throughout the year. Just have fun, make some little accessories for my daughter for her doll houses and things. And there's a huge market on YouTube for mini kitchens and mini cooking. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but they have like little tiny stoves like this, little tiny stoves with a little match, and they try to cook in there. They'll have like a little tiny piece of steak. They'll have it's so funny. But I can make little mini bowls, mixing bowls, measuring cups, all kinds of stuff. So I'm actually going to be getting a hold of some of these individuals and talking to them. And be like, hey, can I send you something? And then eventually they'll start purchasing it from me. Just little fun things to do on the side. But my focus this year is going to be on the glass balloons. I talked with Discover Balloons, and I believe I have my glass now there, and hopefully they'll be sold on the Fiesta in the field next year in their booth. And you are recommending maybe I could get into the actual official Balloon Fiesta merchandise tent, which maybe I can do both. I have a soft spot for Old Town. That's the one thing, is getting them into Discover Balloons. I then have an outlet year round for balloons. That's a place specific for balloons. Whereas around, and I'm also going to be getting my balloons into the museum gift shop. I've already talked with them there. They've already had them in there years ago, and recently, I think last year too. I just haven't like continued the whole let's make this happen and make this the main focus on what Gardenia Glass is going to be for right now. Because, things change all the time. But we've had balloons in our lives here in Albuquerque for 50 years, so I don't see it going away anytime soon. So I know that it's like an open market where, like, me and Derek hardly have any competition besides each other. All right, I don't know if I got that color on here or not. So that would be really cool. Glassblowing schedule sponsored by Discover Balloons in Old Town. That would actually be really cool. I've done Old Town is where I've done all kinds of demonstrations starting back in I think '97. My my one of my best friends in the world, known him since freshman year in high school. His parents had a shop in Old Town called Enchanted Fountains in the patio market, which is right there, pretty much like across from Discover Balloons. And she was the first one in Old Town to carry my glass and to really support me. So I was selling glass balloons in Enchanted Fountains long before I even realized that Discover Balloons existed. And I was then I got involved with one of her artists, Carla Estebane, who opened up her own gallery, Studio Estebane, and we started out with a gallery behind the Candy Lady up there on mountain in Rio Grande, or Rio Grande, and then we moved from there to a studio in the patio market, and then that's when I started setting up right where when you go into the patio market, there's a painting on the wall. It's been there for years. It's like a mural of, I believe, buffalo or bison. They're in the grasslands, I believe. And I used to set up right there. Like they have, I think, one or two little tables for you to like sit and eat if you want. But there is no cafe there, so no one really uses that to sit down and eat or anything. So we used to move the tables off to the side, and then I'd set up and I'd blow glass there, and it would help generate the crowd and get people to come back into the patio market, because no one knew about the patio market or any of the shops back there, and they would simply walk, in the perimeter. They'd go down from that trading store, whatever it was, the trading post store, walk down on the south side along the patio, right? And then they turn and go north right where the vendors are. And they never go straight and go into the patio market. They would never turn south and go to where the Discover Balloons was. So doing those kind of things, yeah, it would generate a crowd, bring people in, for sure. Yeah, and that would be really cool. And the other thing too is when I was doing that with Studio Stevane, she actually had the other market shops in there. There's about 10 other shop owners there who all rallied together, and they chipped in $5 each in order to pay me $50 to just be out there for the day. So no matter what, I got paid $50 for at least 2 hours to do a live demonstration out there. So at least I made some money, and back then, it was covering what I thought was decent enough. Nowadays, doing demos, I would expect at least like $100 to $200 for just a couple hours. And it's a lot of work to load up everything, move my whole entire setup that I have here. I got to clear off the whole table. This is actually a mobile table here. You see it moving? This is actually on a keyboard stand. This hardy backer, this board right here, is just a thin piece of board like that on top of another really lightweight shelf that's holding up everything on top of the keyboard stand. So this is my mobile unit here. Actually, eventually, I've been saying this for like a year or 2 or 3 now. Eventually, I'm gonna build a table here, have a little bit more workspace. Eventually. Yeah, and yeah, there has been the Old Town Merchants Associations, and I used to have to deal with the association a lot. And I knew Chewy, who used to be the president, and he would allow me to set up anywhere. But he told me, he's like, I don't mind you setting up if you get permission from the shop owners and that you're working in front of, then that's between you and them. But if the city comes out and they start asking you for permits because I have an open torch and all this stuff, he said, then you're on your own. So with glass blowing, I don't know. I've never been harassed ever, but there is that possibility on, if I don't have the okay from the fire marshal and certain permits and this and that, which I've never even looked into. I know my friend Rashawn Jones, another glass artist who also makes glass balloons. He just doesn't replicate them, I don't think. He he's gotten really familiar and had really good relations with the fire marshal. So he's working tonight, actually at the who is it? Is it Redman from Wu Tang, or I don't know. There's a big old thing going on tonight out at the Rio Rancho Convention Center there, or the Entertainment Center, and a huge cannabis awards festival, and all these performers, and my friend from high school, Rashawn, who has become a glass artist probably around 97, I think around 2 years after I became a glass artist. He's actually taken it worldwide, a lot bigger than anyone else here. He's formed a team of glass blowers. He has a beautiful studio. They're going to be doing live glass blowing demonstrations over there. And so, yeah, he's got the in with the fire marshal. And I've just never spoke with anyone about it. I don't know. I've just always been rogue style, Like when I go on the field with my glass balloons, it's like I don't have permission to be out there from anyone who's out there. I bring them with me, and they mostly go to like my crew members. Well, not mine, but our pilot's crew members. Our balloon crew. A lot of them are always buying the balloons, and then when I walk around with Rick Jones, our pilot, he introduces me to so many people, and they see the balloons, and right away they ask if I can make them. So I've just learned at this point that as long as I don't sell to the general public out there, I'm not walking around trying to make a whole bunch of money off of their customers. I think that the balloon pilots and the balloon crew members are safe, and it just everyone else is off limits, but those individuals are safe for me to do business with and not really worry. And we do trades and stuff too. I'm always trading for balloon pins or doing other items that they may have. So yeah, I've always been kind of rogue style. I'm an artist. I just focus on doing the art. But yes, I'd like to find out if there's a way for me to get back into doing demonstrations as soon as I get the vehicle running. then I can really focus on doing more live demonstrations out in the public. And I can talk to my friend Rashawn and see if he might be able to put in a good word for me with the fire marshal, and see if I can get a hold of him and see if I can get the OKs and everything to do live demonstrations at many different places. You know, making these jellyfish will be doing it at the Albuquerque Aquarium, especially right now for the River of Lights and all that. It is the perfect time for me to be down there. I know across the street they have, I forget what that place is called, right across the street. The old hotel place that's now like a bunch of shops and little diners and restaurants and things, and they have music every like Friday or Saturday. That would also be a good spot to blow glass at. We used to have a shop also on San Felipe, right across from the church, behind the La Hacienda building there, right at where all the bricks are, and the shops that are kind of set back away from the street. And Cosmic Trading Post is there. And we used to actually set up there, and I would blow glass, and we would have free cocoa, free hot cocoa for anyone who just came up and watched me blow glass. And you could just stand out there in the cold and keep warm with a nice free cup of hot cocoa. And that would draw people in all the time, that hot cocoa. Not the glass blowing, but free hot cocoa. But then they would stay and they'd watch, you know, like moths to the flame. All right, so we now have our 5th jellyfish here, all made, all nice and flattened now. Just adding that little bit of blue on the back side makes so much difference. Oh, oops. I was supposed to make this last one with the dark multi and not with the moonstone, that white for the jellyfish bell, but it is what it is. We're going to pull this one off here, and then I'm going to try. Wait, is this? I hope this is the 5th one. And then I'm going to attempt to make a little candy. I'll show you a little candy here. Maybe I should make 2 little mini candies, and we can turn them into earrings. Or maybe I'll just make candy canes. I don't know. I know last year I made those candies. I only made 1 set. I think my wife got that set. So if I make more, it's not a one of a kind. And she can always claim she's had the first one if I do ever make it again. Because people love those. So right now it's a one of a kind set, I guess. So I even made a pendant. I made a matching necklace to go with the earring. You know, it may not actually be too cold today. They might be able to go with me. We were thinking it was going to be freezing. I need to check the weather. Probably going to stop here. I don't know if I can really make anything else to put in the kiln. I can always make more of my little $5 quick mushrooms and one-colored mushrooms. I need a bunch of those because I always sell out on those. And I can also make more balloons because I only got like maybe 4 or 5 hot air balloons. And those always sell. That's why I only have a few. All right, here goes the jellyfish, guys. Just got to melt down this backing, make sure it's all nice and smooth, get rid of all those heat ring marks. When I put this on the pad, it's so hot and molten that it's like, technically this glass kind of floats off the ground because of the air pressure, and it creates like these heat rings, so it looks like a perfect bullseye. Really interesting, but check it out. They're really cool when they glow like that, and then they start to pull down and it all comes out. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful day. Have a great weekend as well, Barbara. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for all your love and support, for sharing out my glass and showing off everyone else's stuff. You know, I would have never known about Derek from Taos and his beautiful balloon. And I guess, oh, and have you seen my balloon? Before you go, I don't know if you left already. I forgot to show you that one. I had to make one just to show everyone. I also make ornaments. I can make really large balloons as well. His are going for 70, I believe. Fully colored though. Fully colored. So I understand. Mine start at 20. That one I probably, being it's the only one, I don't know, maybe 50, 40, 50, I don't know. Alright, that's number 5. We're going to check the heat. Oh yeah, we're right there. 1080, 10. Gonna bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's do real quickly. We're gonna make some candy canes here. So this is basically the same kind of format or style of work that I would do, prep work, on making like the hot air balloons that I do, or I just spiral them up and they get all the colors twisted, like this one here. And you get those little colors all twisted in there. So we're going to do that, but simply with just red and white to make candy cane color. So we just got to get this color, this clear glass all ready. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate Barbara coming in and having a conversation with me this morning. It's really nice to be able to actually sit here and converse with others. But I also understand a lot of people watch while they're working, so they're, you know, lurking while they're working. I get that too. Don't want to get you in trouble at work. We add a little bit of white to this clear right here. And then we get ourselves this dark garnet here. The red, the dark garnet. We get this all molten. We'll add that on each side in between the white. Opposite sides of each other. So then you got some red and white right there, all mixed up. And then we just melt that down, spiral it up, and we'll get ourselves some candy canes here. Okay, and just brought it down to 1,000 degrees from 1060. We're going to bring it back up again slowly. We're just going to try to keep it up and down at right around that 1,000-degree mark. That way we can turn it off really quick. We're just going to make a couple more things that are going in the kiln, and then we got to get going because it is what time? Oh my gosh, it's already 8 o'clock. Yeah. We get this all molten, melted down, and we're going to spiral it up. But we want to melt it down first so we don't have any kind of ridges or anything like that. So it's all nice and smooth. Okay, it's almost sunk in. Just trying to get all that, the rods, the color rods that I added there, those lines, I'm trying to get it to be sunk in with the clear glass so we don't get any ridges when I spin it up. It'll be a nice smooth candy cane. We're going to have clear glass in between the colors so you'll be able to see through it. It won't be a solid colored candy cane, which actually adds, it allows the light to go through it and it makes it look beautiful. Alright. Pretty much there. I'm going to spiral this up here. Grab it dead right in the center there. Direct center. We just keep it molten and we just start spinning the whole thing. So we worked about 1 inch of this rod on the top, and we're going to stretch this out. I don't know how far. I would say I could get at least probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 candy canes out of here, depending on how small I make them. Right, so now this is when the whole practice of doing a lot of body jewelry, a lot of gauges comes in handy. We're going to be twisting this up, keeping that twist about that same, and also as we're pulling it, we're going to be keeping that same same thickness of rod too, which I would say this is about a good 5mm rod there, or a 5mm twisted cane is more what this would be. Not a ribbon cane because the color's not inside, drawn on the outside. So this is a twisted cane. So this would be a good size for the earrings, guys. And to keep it stretched all that same thickness and that same twist consistency. So right now I'm going in and I'm finding some spots that aren't twisted as much, and I'm just tightening up that twist just a little bit. Almost done. So that what is it, 1 inch, 1¼ inch that I worked is now, I'd say close to 5 inches. And we got several more inches to pull here. Does it have like a foot long here? What's going on? A lot of color. Alright, look at that. It's a pretty good stretch, all about that same size there. Good twist on it all. Yeah. Cool. That looks really good. Got a couple of spots here that are slightly thicker than the rest. We're just going to stretch them out some, straighten it out. Okay, one little last spot right here. Thick. I'm going to just stretch this part out. And then we're in business. Alright. We're going to start from this end. Since this is really short and hot, I'm just going to take it off the rod. We'll use that another time in the future. We're going to clean this up. Alright. So now we got a twisted candy cane here. As you can see. The spiral is pretty consistent. You can see how it's widened up right here, opened more. Right in this area compared to here, it's a lot tighter. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, well, we're just going to go ahead and use it. So now we'll bring this down, bring the flame down, melt the tip, get the tip molten. Simply folds that over like that, and you got yourself a candy cane. And we just put a loop right on top of it here. It's kind of heavy, but I guess we can use this. Actually, we'll just use a shorter one here. Make sure it's clean. You're always using that OptiCloth there, the Norwex OptiCloth. Now I need to make a loop on here. I gotta make these super tiny and skinny. So I can put an O-ring through them. Cool. And then we just cut it off. And we're about there. And that's ready for a pair of earrings. It's really, really tiny compared to my finger. It looks huge when I bring it up to here. And then we just match them up. So I'll round this up. Fold this down. And it's just a trick of trying to match up the curves and the length of that hook there. So you want to be able to try to get them to be pretty much identical. Right? And then you got to put that loop and make that little loop on there. Okay. And then you just want to pull it just long enough and not too long. And that way they're as accurately sized as possible. Nice. That's it. Cool. We'll just keep on making a few more here. I'm going to drop them in the kiln too. Let's see where the kiln's at. Okay. So the kiln's right at the right temperature here. We'll make a few more and we'll drop them in the kiln, and then I got to get going. I hear someone is actually awake. I probably need to start getting breakfast going and stuff. Start packing up all my things, make sure I got everything I need for the day. I don't know if my family is going to be going out with me because I think it's a cold day, but it looks beautiful. It looks nice out. But you know, it's going to be a long 4 or 5 hours of being out there. You know, the kids would prefer to just stay home and hang out, I'm sure. But we all might go too. We'll see. Alright, and make a few more of these. Alright, so now we're just going to match up each one to the first one. So this is the first one of the next one. Not really caring if it matches all up with that, although it does. If we can all keep them the same length, that'll be good. So as you can see, once you do the whole ribbon cane there, and it's pretty much just, cranking them out, making them, trying to get as little tiny piece of glass here on the loop as possible. So then you can put the jump ring on there and then the French hook. We get the sterling silver. Okay, then match up this one to it. Cool, there's 2 pair right there. That's pretty good. Last year I made a whole bunch of different Christmas items. Like snowman and snowflakes and candy canes and gingerbread men, Christmas trees, little Christmas ornament, little lights, and all kinds of cool stuff. And this year I've just been working on a lot of hot air balloons. Maybe we could get like 4 or 5 pair out of here. See, I put that little tiny hook on top. I'm glad these are coming out so quickly. See, we got 1, 2. This will be the third pair. I think I can make 5 pair right here. And usually I sell each pair for $20 or 2 for $30. That's the cool thing is I can always do really awesome specials like that. But yeah, you want one? $20. You want 2? Yeah, only 30. That's cool. I make them so I can make the price. I can make it real nice and affordable for everyone. So usually Saturday mornings, I head over to Peace and Justice Center for the free food line, which is literally right there on the same corner as where we're going to be heading to set up to Bend today. But I don't have time, and I don't know how I would carry anything back, so I'm not going today. But it would be nice to actually go there and let a few of them know that we're going to actually be set up vending if they wanted to do any Christmas shopping. I know a lot of the volunteers there, they love my glass, and they may want to get a few little last minute gifts for some individuals. Okay, we got maybe only one more pair. Look how much we got here. We'll see. Might only have enough to do one more pair. Okay. Last pair, possibly. It's amazing. I'm using this little 16 millimeter to pull like a 1 millimeter or a half a millimeter rod in order to make this loop. I'm using a 16 millimeter to pull this little tiny string of glass. I think it's funny. All right, we got that kiln at 1100. We're gonna let it settle there for a minute. When we get these done, we can drop them in. I'm gonna let you all go though, and I'm just gonna finish up these last few here, so I can get ready for the day. Need to get all my stuff packed up here. I'm gonna check the weather, see how cold it is. And if it's not cold, then the family may be coming with me. All right, is this the last one? I don't think I can get two more out of it. I can get one more. We can turn it into a necklace. All right. Well, you got to see me make some jellyfish. You got to see me make some really cool little candy canes here. And doing the glass wood burning using hot glass for burning wood. That was really cool. So thanks so much for tuning in and watching. If you didn't see all of that, make sure that you go back to the beginning of the video. That's where I'm doing the wood burning there. Oh yeah. There we go. They're all matched up nicely. Those are good. And only enough to make one more. If I turn this into a necklace, or maybe I'll just make a candy cane. Maybe I'll just make a glass candy cane, no loop or nothing. And we'll have a little miniature glass candy cane again for the kids. put on the tree somewhere. And then, you know, if it gets lost, it gets lost. There we go. Little glass candy cane, another miniature right there for the Barbie dolls, for the dollhouse, and for your cooking channel. All right, check that out. Little miniature glass candy cane, guys. Pretty cool, huh? So that's what I do, guys. I have fun, get to play with glass, get to play with fire, get to show you guys what I do, and all kinds of other fun stuff. Make sure you go back and check out how I did these, you guys. I may keep number one. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm out. And come and visit us today if you're in Albuquerque, over on Harvard Street, right at the end, at the corner of Silver and Harvard. We'll see you soon.